Hey Peggy, it's Danny. Hope you're having a good week. It's pretty snowy here in Kansas City today. So I know Columbia is not that far away, so I bet it's the same there too. But hope you're staying dry and safe and all that stuff. But this is week 2, and so we will keep some stuff and we'll change some stuff. The things that I would like to keep are, I would like you to keep working on your sensory work with our deep pressure. So if that's a massage gun like we talked about, or just using your knuckle and getting deep into your skin, that works too. I think you said you had a massage gun, so that would be the better way to do that. But whatever gets you that deep sensation, and you're gonna spread it all over your skin, that part is gonna stay the same. The other thing that's going to stay the same is our diaphragm opener. We're gonna keep that in for another week too, because that is super important, and I don't want to take that away. So, but the other stuff, we're gonna change some of your warm up, and so I am going to get into that now. So we did our lateral tilts last time, so these should look fairly familiar, but I'm gonna give you another few positions to focus on. So just like we worked on the first one, where you're visualizing the outside part of your foot is getting closer to the ground and the inside is peeling off, you're gonna do that again 5 times, just like normal. But then you are also going to take your foot and turn your big toe in a little bit and do 5 in this position. And then you're going to come back to neutral and take your big toe out a little bit and do 5 like that. And so the movement is the same, by changing the angle of your foot, or working a different part, or a different joint, excuse me. But all of these should be done fluidly and with no pain. So if one of these causes you pain, or it feels like you're lost in the movement, just let me know, and I will I'll give you some tips of how to fix it. But you'll do 5 neutral, 5 internal, and 5 external on both feet. Okay? Then, so those are called lateral tilts. We're going to call it medial tilt. So medial is the inside joint of our foot right there. And so for this one, we're going to get into a wide stance, and you're going to think about peeling the outer edge of your foot off and rolling towards the inside. So, and as you do that, I'm not purposely trying to move over to my other leg, but as I take my foot off and roll, my weight is going to transfer to the other leg. So I'm going to do that 5 times, and then do it that way 5 times. And then I'm going to go to my knees, and instead of doing them together, where you're trying to get them to circle together fluidly, I'm going to add some more positions to that. So we'll do your right leg and then your left, but each leg will start off right in front. Just like last time, our foot and our hip are going to be relatively quiet, and we are going to really focus on that circle coming from our knee. So let's go maybe 3 times in one way of our circle, and then go the other way 3 times. And if that feels good, like it feels like you can own that and control it, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this leg and move it out to the side 45 degrees. My torso is still tall, my toes are pointed forward, but I'm changing the angle, which is changing the coordination map of what this feels like. So again, I will go 3 in one direction and 3 in the other. Okay? And you'll do the same on the other leg. If this feels challenging enough, then I wouldn't move to this position. I would work on this one until you feel like you own it. Because again, we're not just doing things to do them, we're doing things for a purpose. Okay? So that takes us up to our pelvis, and I am going to have you stick with our anterior and posterior toes. So you'll put a small bend in your knee, take your thumbs to the back of your, take your thumbs to your back. You'll find your 2 little divots, and then you'll think about taking the tailbone to the wall behind you and tucking underneath. So remember, it's a really small movement. Really work on really precise changes. It's not this, it's really nice and tight and controlled. Okay? And you'll do 5 of those. The next thing that I'm going to show you is for our hips, and this is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to grab something real quick. So I'm using a plate, but you can use anything that elevates your heel off the ground a little bit. So just like, think of it as the same tool that we used for the squat last week. Let's say I'm trying to work my right hip. That means that my left foot is going to be on the plate and my right heel is going to be off the ground. You can do this holding on to something or standing like I am. Balance is not the point of this, it's to get really good movement from your hip. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you work on 2 positions of our hip circle. So the first one is straight out in front of us, and we're doing really neat, tight circles coming from your hip. And you should be feeling, can I control this? Does this feel like a circle? Like that. Okay, you'll do 3 in each direction. If it feels tight, then I would encourage you to set up in the same position, but rotate your foot out and try the circle that way and see how that feels. If that feels challenging enough, you'll just stick with that one. If you feel good about that, then you'll go off to the side a little bit and you'll do a hip circle, nice and slow. And the same idea, really control the movement. 3 circles in each direction. But only move on to that one if you feel like you own the first position. And the same thing on the left. And the same rule applies if you feel like one is really hard, experiment with doing the circle with your foot turned out and with your foot turned in. We're looking for smoothness. So do whatever one feels the most smooth. Okay? Then we're going to go to our low back. We're going to stick with our low back circles. So these are ragdolls. It's going to do a side bend. Then we'll go the other way, so about 3 to 5, one direction, and the other. Good. And then we're going to move to the middle of our back. And instead of, well, not instead of, but I'm giving you another tool for your T-spine, the middle of your back. So if your T-spine rotations felt pretty easy, this would be the next one I would show you. So I'm doing this kneeling just so I can be in the camera, but you can do this standing. You'll have one hand on your hip, one hand on your ribs. The hand that's on your ribs, that is your target. The hand that's on your hips is to keep this hip from moving. So I'm trying to push my ribs into my hand while leaving my hips still. And then go the other way. It doesn't need to be a huge movement. They can be small. We're just trying to make the middle of your glide, or the middle of your back, glide back and forth. Okay? And then we are going to work on elbows. So you're going to take your elbow, have your hand like that, extend it out, rotate it, and then pull it back in. Extend, rotate, in. We'll do 3 on each side. And then the last thing that you'll do, we'll stick with our shoulder camshaft, where you're working on showing your shoulder up, down, pushing it forward, pulling it back. And you'll do 3 to 5 on each side there too. But that is your warm up for week 2.